To the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. For the G's, by the G's, que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo. A huevo. Doesn't matter where you from. Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere. Todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos, empurgamos, soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas to every LA Galaxy fan out there, all you Lacuna Galaxians. Thank you once again for hanging with us here on another episode of Lacuna Galaxiana. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Rob Halon. You can always find my written work at Extra Time and me online at El Escudero de LA. Today, we're going to be reacting to another draw. The Los Angeles Galaxy went on the road and saw Charlotte FC over the weekend on Saturday, May 18th. But just like in the previous three matches, they slumped to their fourth straight draw, despite plenty of chances to win. Here to help me break it all down is my co-host, as usual, el yerno guapo, el gitano perdido, Ananda Kiranita. ¿Cómo te sientes, papá?
I'm good, man. Unfortunately, uneventful weekend, really, on the pitch, right? And we had to kind of labor through that. It was a little bit of a nothing game. We'll talk about it, obviously, today, but one that maybe we don't want to really remember in the history books too much. But I don't know, kind of a confusing weekend, Papa. I'm confused about a few things, a lot of things, actually, but let's keep it to the Galaxy, right? So I'm a little confused by
the other stuff is like on a pod after night, like
yeah, exactly. Late night with the podcast Avengers or whatever, like little kumbaya session where we all get up on our fills. But no, man, like sticking to the LA Galaxy, you know, I'm confused by how Gabriel Peck missed that wide open net. I'm confused by Novak letting the ball slip under his foot like it was a nothingness. And more importantly, and most importantly, and I want to talk about this later, which is why I kind of threw it as a, you know, guys, we always do these agendas like before we get on. And one of the things that I'm confused about is how I should feel about this team. You know, it's we haven't been great lately. It's another draw. Should I feel worried, or like, is this like where we need to be? Right? Like I'm not sure.
You're in your petty today. I see you, fool.
And maybe it's my intrinsic like self coming out. Like I said, I was confused by a lot of things this weekend, Robert. So maybe it's my intrinsicness, like, and looking like deep within my soul to like figure out the answers to these questions. So soul searching, man.
This cat's about to drop the Galaxy diss track right now. Like,
you mean that K on that K dot?
Yeah,
on that K dot level.
You got to go at him like that.
No, but you know, because I saw it on Galaxy Twitter too, and this was before I looked at because I haven't actually been online as much this weekend. I haven't looked at Galaxy Twitter or the reaction to the match, and you know, there was a decent percentage of folks that. Now, granted, some of them were kind of ranty and a little bit kind of like, you know, one-liners, which is fine. We're all emotional, but you know, they weren't too far off from how I feel. I just kind of stated it in a little more like not so sure level. Like I'm not sure, right? So I kind of want to talk that out with you guys and with you and the chat.
I was hearing, and I told you, you know, like I've started to hear like the first little rumblings of the Vanney Boo Boys, like the Vanney Out Boys.
I do remember you saying that, yeah.
And you know, the Ricky chatter has picked up again. I saw a little bit on the Twitter sphere, on Instagram as well. So maybe everyone's just like flummoxed, just like you are, like, you know, and like doesn't know how to feel. So they're like, hey, what can we take it out on? But yeah, we're glad we're here for another group therapy with everybody in the chat. Hey,
Mini one. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Hey to Blocks Fruits yourself. Hey, Blocks Fruits nerd. Gary Cambrone, thank you. Even if you're late, man, we love that you're here. It doesn't matter. We were late too. You know, it's Cerrillo. You know what it is. Hello, Ramizes. You know, Leo, what's up with you? Big Heck, what's up with you as well, man? Thank you guys so much for being here. Raul, thank you so much for being here. Man, again, we hit 200 subs the other day. Couldn't do it without you. And thanks so much for all the love that you guys show us. Ananda, you got to do your thing though before we actually get into game time, and then start letting some of this uh anger or like emotions seep out.
I do. We do have to keep it a little bit short today too, because I am on the clock again, unfortunately. But let's get into housekeeping. So you guys can always follow, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana,
Start
and of
stalking that
course.
phone.
And of course, you can join Matthew. Shout out comments 96. And you guys can always find us on all your socials at Lacuna Galaxiana. We are going to be working on a lot of other new things soon. I think we're going to go back to those video clips. It's been a little while, but look out for those guys. We do have a plan for it. We just had to take a little pivot on that, but that is coming. So we will be active on all of your socials coming soon to a theater near you. And of course, guys, if you like what you're hearing, first of all, thank you for coming back and chat. We love y'all. We love hanging out with y'all. If you haven't subscribed yet to this pod and you do like what you're listening to, like Robert said, we just hit 200, on to the next, and we're loving riding this journey with you guys. But go ahead and give us that subscribe button. It'll do this channel wonders, and we really, really, really love your support, and thank you for your support in advance. And of course, if you haven't yet, go ahead and like this video. Every one of you on playback as well, go ahead and like this video because all the likes do count, of course. And as Robert always says, put someone.
It makes our hearts happy.
Yeah, and if you want to make someone else's heart happy, so hopefully, go ahead and put someone on and let them know that we're here and we do these little group therapy sessions as we needed. And we bring on some amazing guests. We've had some awesome ones lately, and I know chat, you've been loving the people that we bring in on. We've got really, really good feedback from you guys, so thank you for that. And hopefully we can do more of that. And don't worry, our esteemed showrunner here, Rob, has a lot of things planned for y'all. So we will announce those, of course, as needed if you follow us on the socials and the YouTube. And of course, Robert, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. And yeah, man, let's get this over with. Let's get into this. And I'm looking more forward, or like I'm looking more towards the future versus having to relive the past a little bit right now with the Galaxy.
Yeah, well, Adam has a question. He says, any guests on Thursday? Not as of yet, but we hope to have someone for you on Thursday from the Houston side, letting us know everything there is to know about Houston. So watch out for that space. Hector, we haven't gotten into anything game-wise yet, really, so you haven't missed it. So we'll be getting to that in a moment. But yeah, like Ananda said, let's get into some of these Galaxy community announcements. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention one of my editors in his enterprise, LA Taco. As you guys know, they're going through the membership drive right now. They're so much closer. I mean, when they started this, they were like, at like 1,500 subscriptions. They're sitting around 4K right now. They're about 1,000 subs away. But with your help, we can keep one of the best LA local journalism sources open. So shout out to Javier and the entire staff at the Taco. And they're also doing Taco Fest on July 15th. So watch out for that. Guys, we do have Lacuna Galaxiana stickers, and we want to give them to you. They're right here. And whenever you see us, be like, hey, Sucker, give us a sticker. Like, we want to slap. We have them now. So when you see us, track us down and grab one. And speaking of stickers, I called him out on the last pod, but finally I got the H. Dotty stickers, Ananda. This is not my photo. This is his photo, but this is basically the set. And you got wonderful K. Dot right here. This one goes hard, man.
It's clean. They're all clean.
Yeah, man. And then so just shout out to him, man, because they're super clean. And I'm just like, I was sitting at the table earlier, like, what should I put these on? So looking forward to putting them on something really, really soon. Congrats to Eddie Chadwick, Mateo McLean, and Max Steelman from the LA Galaxy Academy, and indeed the entire U.S. Under 15s U.S. men's youth national team. They got to the finals of the Vlatko Markovic International Tournament against Japan, and they beat Japan 1-0 to take that tournament. So congratulations to the U15s there. Really, really awesome to see that 3 Galaxy Academy players got to take part in that one. Keeping with the U.S. men's national team, Greg Berhalter has selected his roster for the upcoming training camp, which would effectively be the last training camp before Copa America, guys. So he selected a 27-player training camp roster for the upcoming matches against Colombia and Brazil. That group reports starting May 28th to the Washington, D.C. area. Of course, if you're looking for when those games are, the U.S. faces Colombia in Washington, D.C. on June 8th, and then they face Brazil in Orlando on June 12th. And, like I said, this is a preparation for Copa America. Right after this tournament, Greg Berhalter is basically going to select his roster for Copa America, minimum of 23, maximum of 26. So a lot of good players are hoping to make this roster. I mean, I was just talking to a couple of people this weekend that were like, we hope Luca De La Torre makes it. We hope Cardoso makes it, So it'll be interesting to see who Greg Berhalter actually takes. Final lists need to be submitted by June 15th for that Copa America. Ananda, is there anybody on this U.S. men's national team that you're like, they need to be a lock to go?
Anyone on this list that they're for sure on the team? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like any of these players that you're like, no, they need to be a lock for this tournament.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like all the guys that play in Europe, like your Pulisic's, your McKinney's, all the experienced guys you need. I was gonna say the opposite, but I know why. I mean, of course, if the Truth was healthy this past year, man, I feel like he probably had a really, really strong shot for that defender list because and the other thing, the Truth, Jalen.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but
who knows what could have happened, right?
Yeah, he hasn't played, right? But the other thing too is if you look at this list, not a lot of MLS representation, Robert. Actually, I heard a little clip from Charlie Davies and who was it? Charlie Davies, Jimmy Conrad, and McBride had a little pod, I think via CBS Sports Golazo, and they're talking about some shouts for especially a goalkeeper like your Brad Stuvers of the world, right? Like there's a few MLS players I think that could have gotten a shout, but they didn't. And so that's a little surprising, but I think we've seen that pattern history or that historical pattern recently. So yeah, I'm not too surprised.
Well, we're seeing a couple people in chat. Give a shout out to Alex Zendejas, who they feel was snubbed. Truth be told, I haven't seen enough of Zendejas' game this semester. Well, in La Liga MX lo llaman semestres, right? So or etapas. So I haven't seen enough of his game to really see what he's done. I'm seeing some chatter in the pod about doing a live pod. I'm always down. Apparently, it's going down at Applebee's, and we're bringing our own chicken tenders. It's Dollaritas. I'm everything that was just proposed there in chat. I'm down for. Let's make it happen. Like that's just no ifs, ands, or buts. But yeah, keeping it moving here. Watch the space for the U.S. roster drop. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who makes that final roster. Congrats to LA Galaxy legend Robbie Keane, aka King Kino. His team, Maccabi Tel Aviv, has just won the league. And interestingly enough, he has Dave Sarakan as an assistant. So congrats to both these guys. Really quick, before I forget, Ananda, on the U.S. men's national team, it's awesome to see Haji Wright there because he had a great great season with Coventry, and also he came up in the LA Galaxy Academy. So
Right.
Shout out to him. Shout out to King Kino as well. And then we're shouting out AJ De La Garza. The Galaxy legend was in the building for LA versus Charlotte. He was decked out in LA Galaxy as well as his 3 girls. So if you know your LA Galaxy lore, he was part of a couple of championship winning teams. Shame that he was moved on when he was. There's a lot of people actually, Ananda, that say that the Galaxy went through a period of badness because of the curse of AJ. It's because they moved him on and people felt that he got done dirty. So they said, oh, this is the curse of AJ. But I know AJ himself would, never say like, I want anything bad to happen to the team. And of course, he's supporting the team from afar. So congratulations to him and his lovely family, and shout out to him and his lovely family for being in the building and supporting. A big shout out to Japangelis. I know you're excited for this one, man. So guys, if you're not up on game, the LA Galaxy announced official a collaboration between the Galaxy and Japangelis. Of course, Japangelis is the wonderful brand there in Little Tokyo, downtown Los Angeles. I used to work across the street from this little square, and I mean it's an amazing little square with amazing food, just the ambiance and the vibe. But one of the flagship stores in that area right now is Japangelis, and of course they've come back for their 3rd collaboration with the Galaxy. Owner and artist Rui Kuroyanagi collaborated with Maya Yoshida and Miki Yamane on what this line would look like. And if you guys have seen the video, they actually took tangible ideas that Maya and Miki put out and actually incorporated them into the design of the t-shirt and the scarf. So these will go on sale on Saturday, 5/25 at the team store. And I believe they'll have some of these at the Japangelis store as well. And like I said, guys, it's worth going down there and checking out that area. It's super, super cool. And then, if it weren't enough, Maya and Mickey will be doing an in-store signing at the Japangelis store in Little Tokyo on May 26th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. So if you're in the area and that's your brand, go ahead and go get some stuff signed and go say hello to Maya and Mickey, and just in general, just show some love to that area and Japangelis. This, of course, is a collaboration for AAPI month, and the Galaxy and the Kings are also doing an AAPI event on Thursday, May 23rd. That's going down at 4:30 p.m. That'll be at Terasaki Budokan. At 4:30, you'll have an opportunity to do origami with Swan Origami, and at 5, they'll kick off with a soccer clinic for the Galaxy side and a ball hockey clinic for the LA Kings side, and that'll be at 5. So go ahead and check out these events, either the signing or this AAPI event. And if you already got some soccer skills, learn how to shoot that ball, man. Learn how to handle that puck, and then likewise. So Ananda, I've been on the next one for a cool minute. Ever since it happened, this has been like my new favorite thing. And guys, big shout out to the homie Raquinho once again. The MLS bootleg MLS has released a t-shirt for Raquinho, and damn it, if I want this so bad, like it goes really, really hard. Ananda, I'm sorry, I give it a 10 out of 10. What about you?
Oh, this guy. I mean, the graphic is cool. I'll give you that. I'm just not as I just don't find, I don't know. I'm just not as into it as you are, but maybe you like cute furry little animals, cute little raccoons.
Bro,
That's
look
cool.
at Kobe is my son. Like cute furry animals. Like
I know. I get it. So no, I give it. I mean, the design's cool though. The design's pretty awesome. I'll give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
Yes, and Raquinho deserves to be rocked. Don't be surprised if I pull up somewhere and y'all see me rocking Raquinho. Anyway, moving right along. I think it's maybe just me that enjoys it so much, but like even my wife is like, otra vez con Raquinho, and I'm like, yeah, come on, Raquinho. Dang, Gary Cambrone says the Raquinho Topps card has now sold 8,078 cards. He got 2. And Big Heck says Raquinho probably better than Miguel Berry. I don't know. I mean, they play different positions. You know, they do
Ouch.
different. They bring different things to the side. You know, so Alex, we are going to get to VCFC. So hold on for that. But yes,
Man, I mean, should I mean, let's not
Raquinho
say that.
bobblehead. Yes.
Hey, big heck, let's not say that in front of Joe or not. The next defending the badge we give to Miguel Berry, I might have you announce it, big heck, just so that
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Yes. El Trafico Radio says, "G stop the Berry hit." I think that was Joe's sentiment as well. I'm going to get solidly behind the lad because I want him to do well, and I really like what his vibe. Like, he believes in himself, and he's going to keep trying. So, and he's going to give it his all for the shirt. Sidebar: I actually didn't have this one in the agenda, but that man Miguel Berry is actually going to be doing a talk for mental health awareness. They did release some stuff on their socials already. On our next pod, I'll go ahead and make sure that I have some more info on that. It's a serious thing, man. Mental health and wellness. Like, you really don't know what people are going through. Give your loved ones hugs, man. Make sure that they know that they're loved and they're there for them. I'm not going to get in my feels right now, but just make sure that they know that you love them. Moving right along, congratulations to Eric Savaleta and to the Salvadorian G's, because Eric will be throwing out the first pitch at Angel Stadium on June 30th. The first time they're ever doing it with the Angels, and it'll be throwing out the first pitch in honor of a Salvadoran heritage. That'll be taking place on June 30th. Tickets include a bunch of stuff, man. Like, you get a ticket through one of these like official vendors like AFJA is. So make sure to support and hit up AFJA if you want to get your ticket for this. You get an Angels and Salvadoran heritage jersey, and that's like a special design on the front. Access to the Heritage Village featuring DJs and a special cumbia band. Appearances by special guests, and of course, delicious snacks from AFJA on the inside. So go ahead and look into this. If you're Salvadorian, go ahead and look into this, man. Hit up AFJA. We have an away trip coming up, y'all. We have ACB doing their San Jose trip. That'll be leaving on June 29th, returning on June 30th. And of course, that includes the game ticket and the bus ride. Galaxy Outlaws are doing that as well. But I think they announced that is sold out. So it remains to be seen if they'll be doing another bus. In lieu of that, go ahead and hit up ACB because they are doing the bus as well. Guys, keeping with the supporter groups, Comets SC has made memberships available for Comets. A couple people have already gotten theirs, and they are doing a Juneteenth event on Saturday, June 15th at 3:30 p.m. That'll be a barbecue style tailgate. Go ahead and hit up Comments SC for more information or what you can bring to the barbecue, to the cookout. Just don't put any raisins in your potato salad. We'll be okay. Shout out to Big Heck and the IEGs. They've just released a new scarf. Make sure to go ahead and get those orders in with Big Heck or Tiffany Rodriguez. Order by May 27th to get this one by July 4th. IEGs, we see you out there. Man, that's a good little community out there. Ananda, we're going to have to keep our commitment to them, and when you get back, we're going to have to go see them out there for an away game.
Yeah, man. Hey,
right,
Big
guys.
Heck, congrats on that scarf, man. It looks fire. Good job. Nice one. Man.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's dope for sure. Guys, get ready for Amor Eterno. And it's not just date night with yours truly. Amor Eterno is a photo gallery curated by LA Galaxy fans for LA Galaxy fans. Now through June 1st, you can submit 3 photos to be considered. They could be any kind of Galaxy-centric photos of games, shots of players, events, fellow fans. We have a shot here in the graphic of Outlaws president Manny. And these are the kind of photos that I'm assuming they want to see. Photos that show your passion for the team, show how you see the team through your eyes. So go ahead and get those in by June 1st. The link is in the bio for I believe this is a Baby G's 96. So these will be on view at that exhibition from July 6th July 27th. Make sure and get those in. If you are a running kind of foo, G's Run LA is doing their 5K. That'll be happening on July 6th, but they are capping it at 96 participants. Signups start this week, so make sure and get your participation in for G's Run LA 5K. Of course, the Galaxy are giving away a couple of different ticket pack offers on May 25th. You have the Ricky Jersey Pillow, the Mile Bobblehead, and the Yoga Night package. Those are all happening on May 25th. The Yoga Night package is probably the one that interests me the most, even though the Mile Bobblehead is the most the one that the ones that's going to help the world the most, because each ticket sold will be donated to the Japanese American National Museum and Japanese American Society of Southern California. Of course, if you're doing the Yoga Night package, which, like I said, it just intrigues the hell out of me, that'll be starting at 4:30 with Yoga 6 Long Beach, and then you also get a yoga massage ball set in that package. Adam, I promised you would get to VCFC, and here it is. They played their first home game at the Willy Roll on Sunday, May 19th. Yes, damn it, I am making Willy Roll a thing, or I'm going to try. That went down at 5 p.m. They hosted Real Monarchs, and they beat Real Monarchs 2-0. Goals by Gino Vivi in an own goal by Real Monarchs. That moves VCFC back into first place. They are 5-2-2 with 19 points through 9 games. Congratulations to VCFC. Of course, we have a lot of the Galaxy depth there on that squad, so it's good to see them, doing their thing as well. Especially players like Gino Vivi, who again had some good showings in the CVI, is on kind of the fringes of the first team, but it's good to see him supporting his claim to be brought up or to get some more playing time. Guys, so we had a drawing for a couple t-shirts last week. One person has stepped up to claim their shirt. Little Apple, congratulations. Thank you so much for stepping up and claiming your shirt. We will get that sent out to you once we find our second winner, because, guys, no one stepped up for that second one. That means we're still giving away that second t-shirt, but we're kind of doing it a little bit different. Leo Reus says that he is Edward. We're gonna need to see some proof on that one, Leo. Go ahead and send us a screenshot. But Ananda had a kind of an idea. So just to make sure that the person is actually out there and aware that they might be able to win this t-shirt, for this next drawing, we're having everyone comment on this video stream. Go ahead and get into the comments and just comment Don Raul 96, and you are entered once again to get this t-shirt. That's Don Raul 96. Drop it in the comments in this video, and you'll be entered to win this t-shirt with Don Raul letting all the lames worldwide know it's all 5 rings, baby.
And go ahead and do that after this video, guys, because if I guess I can kind of track it from here, but we kind of did it this last minute. So Alex, I see yours, so I'll just note it, but it'd be easier for us to track if you do it sort of after this show. We could do it tomorrow morning or however you want it. You guys have until we're going to try to do the next live drawing on the next live stream, which is Thursday. So you guys have time from now until Thursday at 9 p.m. You guys that are already typing into the chat, though, I'll go ahead and have to screenshot this. But again, if you are listening to this on playback or even now, it'll help us quite a bit keep track of names. If you guys go ahead and do it after this stream. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? I like the hustle from all of you guys already dropping that Don Raul 96 in there.
You guys are in. Don't worry.
Yeah, Ananda said he's going to get you in there, so I like the hustle. If you want to go ahead and comment on the video afterwards, just so we can make sure that you're in there, go ahead and drop that Don Raul 96. I see you, Gary Cambron, dropping even the accent on the U on Don Raul. I love it. Yeah, no. So go ahead and get that entrance in there by hitting your Don Raul 96. Ananda, it's starting to be silly season again because we have transfer rumors. Do you want to hit this one off, because you seem to be pretty excited about some of this chatter?
Well, let's hit off the first one. I mean, you're the news person, but I'll go ahead and try to fill in your shoes as best as I can. So, recently the stash, Tommy Bogert, I think he dropped this news earlier today or maybe over the
Today.
weekend. Can't remember. Yeah.
There have been rumblings, but Tommy kind of like made it official by
Tommy kind of
reporting
dropped the stash bomb this morning, right? That really Charlotte is the one that has been in contacts with Marko Reus. So he was basically highlighting a possible move because, of course, everyone knows that Marko Reus's contract is up at the end of the season at Dortmund. So the Champions League final on June 1st is officially going to be his last game, and he's looking for a move potentially to MLS. Charlotte, who interestingly has his discovery rights, we can talk about that a little bit, which is very silly. So they kind of have first dibs on him, right? But he also named in his video that he dropped this morning that LA Galaxy are one of the teams that are interested. But of course, because of the discovery rights, it would be a little difficult for us to make that transfer happen. I believe, Robert, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually sell your discovery rights for some sort of a nominal, or in this case, not so nominal fee. So I'm not sure the extent to which the LA Galaxy would push for a move like this. But you're the ones always asking the questions, man. What do you think?
I don't think they should do it. I mean, all right, I'll get into why here in a second, but it's not only Charlotte that first off has his discovery rights, but St. Louis is also pushing for it. Apparently him and Berkey are really, really good friends, obviously from their playing days. But so it's not only Charlotte who actually has like pretty much the ball in their court at this point, but St. Louis as well. And then there's the Galaxy, who, of course, anytime a player of this caliber comes up, they're going to be linked with. But it just doesn't make any sense. First off, look at his age. They're not going for this type of player, right? They've said a couple of times they're not going for this type of profile of player. They want players to be young, hungry. I'm not saying that Marko Reus isn't hungry. He's a fine player. In fact, there's many a day where I lamented the fact that United couldn't ever bring him in to Manchester United. If this were 5-6 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, this is an amazing signing. But his age, with his injury history, with just the fact that he'd probably be sitting on the bench anyway because Ricky's in that position, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think there's a lot here, personally, and there's a couple other people that even though they think that there might be something here, that they're kind of pushing for their own agenda. Herculez Gomez was on Football Americas the other day, commenting on your dream signing, which is Antoine Griezmann, and saying that that's the ideal LA Galaxy signing. He stated that the Galaxy need to make a splash, which is true. That the last time they made a splash was with Chicharito Hernandez. And I don't think that's why they should make the signing. I think they should make it on footballing merit. But Griezmann is still a fine player. I mean, and he's tactically adjustable. I mean, he can play across a lot of positions in that attack. I mean, he can even play as. I mean, France has even deployed him as a 6 on occasion, or like an advanced 6. So I mean, there's not a lot that he can't play in the top part of the pitch. So tactically, he makes more sense than somebody like Marko Reus. I just don't put any stock in it. It could happen. I mean, sure. I mean, Greg Vanney makes a big bucks. I don't. So I mean, he might say like I can fit him into this side, and he'll bolster our attack, and I'm not going to hate if they make it happen. I'd love it. Like I said, fine player, little injury prone, a little long in the tooth, but he has a reputation of being incredibly intelligent as a footballing mind and playing on the pitch. He has a reputation as being a really, really good teammate and a really good leader. So for if you're going to bring him in for all that, sure, why not? But again, what do I always say? The money has to be right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I'm going to leave this one to chat too, because I mean, you guys know my thoughts around Griezmann. I think Reus. Well, let me put it to this to the chat, because, like you said, Robert, the big thing here is: are you going to bring these players, whether it's Reus, whether it's Griezmann, whether it's another big name from Europe, right? Are you going to bring these guys in, presumably on a DP contract? So then, what does that mean for the other three DPs? Well, you're not going to move Peck or Paint still, so that really leaves Ricky Puig, right? And interestingly, this morning or earlier today, I think it was yesterday actually, the Nag boys had an interesting debate on this, and I saw Eddie's back, so shout out Eddie, Eddie Nags, wherever you are, man.
shout out.
And welcome back. But they had this debate, and they were saying that, I know Tom Bogert reported that Puig had a contract extension all lined up, but we haven't seen officially pen to paper yet. But then, even with an extension, who's to say that he doesn't make a move back to Europe at some point, right? So there's still that's the only possibility that I see this. But I'm going to leave this one to chat, though. Chat, would you rather have Puig or one of these guys, like Reus or Griezmann, right? Put in the chat. Make it pretty simple. But, for me, that's a tough one, man. But here's all I'll say to kind of wrap up this conversation is, one of the reasons why I do like Griezmann is, like you said, he has that versatility. But if I look at just the attacking part, right, which personally, I don't even think that's the biggest issue with this team, but that's another conversation for another day. But if we are looking for another attacker, I think skill set wise or profile wise, I've always gravitated to players like, funny enough, Josef Martinez, players like Cucho Hernandez, guys, even Raul Ruiz, like that sort of like profile of player with the low center of gravity, has a really, really good first touch, is technically gifted, creates space for himself, right? But is also a scorer as well as a playmaker, like Griezmann. 2 years ago, man, Griezmann had 17 assists in La Liga, along with 15 goals. So he's a creator, and he also bangs in goals, right? And that's, if you want another versatile guy.
Yeah, doesn't he have like
to
the most goal contributions in like La Liga or something like that?
I don't know about this year. I didn't check that stat, but I mean, 2 years ago, he was absolutely on fire. And to me, Griezmann is much more, not injury prone, but he's more durable than Marco Reus. Griezmann, man, it's crazy. When I looked at the stats on Transfer Market, he's played over 2,000 minutes basically ever since he's been in La Liga, except for 1 year where he was injured. That was his only major injury. So he's, you figure in an MLS season, that's, you can play a max of 3,500 minutes. He's going to be, your DP that's going to get a lot of utilization. So again, he is 33, but it looks like his body's holding up, and it's the way he plays too, right? He's just really, really smart player. But yeah, that's all I'll have to say to that. It's going to be real interesting though, what Will Kuntz does over the summer. Again, and will we trust? And I stick to that by any means. But I guess the only intriguing sort of subplot that you and I and the rest of the media and all us fans are going to be looking at is,
I got you, by the way. You and I.
There you go. And it's something that Hernan actually, so shout out We Are Austin TV, said to me sort of off camera when we were there. It was basically, are the LA Galaxy going to go back to the Galacticos? We're talking about Florentino Perez being in the stadium that day. It's interesting because the Galaxy haven't, this year for sure, we haven't really reverted to that Galacticos model. The question is, are we going to revert back to that at some point to get us over the hump and win MLS Cup? Remains to be seen.
I think there'll be a healthy mix. I think you're putting down the core of the team right now, and then you bring in one or two pieces that are going to get it over the hump. And I don't think so. Not with the way we see Will Kuntz moving. Not with all his deals and stuff like that. I don't see it happening where they become full-fledged, Galacticos era Galaxy again. But that's just me. And then, while I'm saying that, I'm going to speak out the other side of my mouth and be like, I would love to bring in this next guy from this next slide, because apparently he's not happy in Saudi Arabia.
He doesn't look happy
guys
there.
that are listening to this rather than watching. Yeah, he doesn't look happy there. It's a picture of Karim Benzema. Fantastic footballer, especially, he seems to be getting better with age, especially. So apparently he's not happy in Saudi Arabia. Apparently he's been telling some friends that he's looking for an escape route. let's give it to him, LA Galaxy. Let's bring him in. Let's get another striker in there to fight for minutes and to push the other strikers. If they could make this happen somehow, some way, my dad would probably go out and be like the first person to get his Benzema Galaxy jersey. Guys that don't know out there, my pops is just like Ananda, is a big Madridista, so he would definitely be all up on that Benzema. But I suppose none of this has come to pass yet, right? So these are all just rumors at the moment. Watch this space. We'll go ahead and bring you any updates. But now it's time to get into that actual match, Ananda. This match between the LA Galaxy and Charlotte. We'll start where I will start. Lineups, man. It wasn't so much of a secret that Joseph Paintsill was held out. Greg Vanney told us as much, that he was, fighting through a hamstring issue. So Joseph Paintsill was held out of this match, was not on the bench. Jalen Neal and Julian Aude returned to start in the back line. Edwin Cerrillo replaced Gaston Brugman, and Diego Fagundez played in place of Joseph Paintsill. You had Emilio Garces on the bench for the first time, even though the LC did not use his services in this match. Ananda, any surprises for you in this? Oh, and I didn't mention Novak Mikovic got his first start. So any surprises, chat for you, Ananda, for you?
Yeah, I mean, the first one is right where you left it, right? Novak, is it Mitrovic or Mikovic? What is the official pronunciation, Robert? I've heard a lot of different things today, so I'm not sure if you know.
I'll go to the official MLS pronunciation guy, because they do release that. So I don't have a definitive answer for you.
I think
right now, but I'll have one for you by next game.
I think it's because there's two, like, whatever you call them, tildes or accents on both of the C's. I think it's Mitrovic, but I could be wrong. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna go with that for now. So sorry, Novak, if I mispronounced your name. By the way, did you catch his press conference, man? Sweet.
Yeah,
I love it.
I was I mean, not there, but I was in it.
Yeah.
I didn't ask. I didn't try to ask him any questions, because they did let us know. He's learning English right now, so
he's doing well. He's doing well.
Keep the questions short, like simple, and I don't really excel at that. So I was like, I'm gonna give Novak a pass.
Gary Cambron said he sounds like a KGB agent.
God, I hope, man. I hope he's gonna sniff out all the other team's secrets and block all the goals, man. But yeah, he got his first start.
He did, and he got his first clean sheet, right, in his first start. So pretty good. 2 saves. Didn't have much to do, to be fair. And to be honest, he was one mistake away from shooting himself in the foot. Like I said in the top of the show, just kind of like let that. I mean, you and I were there. You go again. You and I.
That's true.
We were watching
2 shots.
We were watching this game live. That's not me, but that's for chat. You guys can go ahead and pick up on that. That we were watching this game live together, and we were like, "What was going on?" And it was just a silly play. Even Greg said it as much post match. And the other thing too that about Mitrovic that I didn't get to see this game, unfortunately, is how we've been talking about McCarthy's distribution, and I wanted to see how he distributed the ball in this game. He didn't have much of an opportunity to do so. He didn't have much of an opportunity though to do so because Charlotte didn't really press us that high. They weren't a high pressing team, not in this particular game. They were dropped to a mid to low block. So I mean, if you want to look at the stats, he was 3 out of 5 on long ball. So that doesn't really tell me anything. It's a very small sample size. So yeah, other than Novak though, man, I thought Diego, a little shout out to him. I thought he had quietly a good game. He missed that one really, really good chance in the first half. And that could have been nice to open up the scoring. If you remember, just off a cutback, I think he just hit it on the ground and it looped over the keeper. He's a more than serviceable fourth attacker off the bench. I do like him there. Even he probably, if you guys would have interviewed him, he probably would have told you that, yeah, he probably should have buried that chance there. I do want to see Julian overlap a little bit more on the left side with him. I feel like if Diego's he's a guy that's not as fast in the wing, but he likes cutting in. So he kind of needs that overlapping outlet to create those overloads at times. So, but maybe for one reason or another, tactically, we didn't get to see that too much in this game. But I see that combination. I've been talking to you, Robert, about like I want to see these like left wing or right wing combinations with the fullbacks and that chemistry build. I do like that chemistry and like how their how their skill sets complement each other on that left. So I do want to see that more, hopefully, as the season progresses.
I don't think you'll get to, though, because of how Greg's playing a system of bringing one of the fullbacks into the midfield for numbers, and if you do that, obviously you need to have the other fullback stay home, which means you're not getting either fullback overlap because you have Mickey Yamane in the midfield and the other one staying home, unless Greg switches the tactic, but he's shown pretty faithful to that so far.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those times where we've I can't remember what game it was. I gotta go back to the tape, but there was a couple of games though in certain instances where we saw that our left hand side be the side to attack on, and Julian would bomb up, and he's good at that. But anyways, besides the point, I thought one last thing about the lineup, Robert. I talked about Cerrillo coming into this match. I thought Gaston would be rotated out, and he was. And man, Cerrillo had another solid game. I think he's starting to look like a start, not only a starting level midfielder, but like an all around good, solid midfielder, Robert. His ball progression and his passing to me is Gaston-esque, right? There was a couple of balls over the top because he saw where the space was in the first half. That I told you that Charlotte plays a very compact system. He saw the space in and behind, and he hit Peck a couple times to create some of those attacking positions. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything out of him. A couple shots on goal that were missed. But his passing is really, really good, and he's calm on the ball, man. There's a couple times where we were in our own half. He was kind of like playing it around with Ricky 1-2s, like tiki-taka style, and we're like, ooh, that's dangerous. But so assured, so calm, so composed on the ball. Really like him in that midfield, man. I'm telling you, he's my breakout player of the year, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, no, I liked him as well. There was one ball that he had over the top that Gabby Peck got that he should have done better with. He tries a square and he just does not do well with it. But he did have these moments, like you said, with Ricky, where he really looked assured and confident, and that's the kind of player that you want in your midfield. Just like Diego, if you're not going to have Joseph Painso in the lineup, that's not a drop off going from Joseph Painso to Diego Fagundez. They're certainly different players, but I would feel comfortable going with Diego Fagundez there. And same thing with Edwin Cerrillo. Obviously, Gaston is, I think, the established starter in that position, but you're not having a lot of drop off there with Edwin either.
Yep.
But let's get into this match summary here. The Galaxy were playing their 9th road game of the year through 14 matches, so they've been on the road a lot. Then they did earn a 0-0 shutout draw against Charlotte. They now hold a record of 3-2-4 in those 9 matches on the road. They're unbeaten in their last 3 matches played on the road, dating back to Cinco de Mayo, and they have posted those 2 shutouts during that span. This was the 3rd time that Charlotte and the Galaxy have played. This is the first time they've tied. Each club had a victory before that, and now the Galaxy has a 1-0-1 record all time at Bank of America Stadium, where Charlotte plays. And usually we tell you guys about these tactical breakdowns and what we saw on goals. Unfortunately, there weren't any, but there were a couple of missed opportunities that we'll get into here in a moment. We did already tell you guys about Novak Micevic. We're gonna go ahead and get clarification on how you say that. He recorded 2 saves and he got that first career shutout, like we said. The Galaxy were great in the passing area, 704 of 754 passes made, and then they had the tactical possession advantage of 66%. Ananda, I know that stats are your domain, but today I wanted to get a couple in there for the peeps.
Go for it, man.
But you can take it away there on these stats.
Oh, okay.
No, I hit him, bro. I hit him. That's your world. But if you'll indulge me one quick second, I see that El Tráfico Radio is in there. I'm assuming that's Mike Gray, our friend Mike Gray. Shout out Miggy Grease. guys in the chat, I don't know if you knew, but it was his birthday a couple months back. He was very quiet about it, but we do want to congratulate him and say happy birthday. We didn't say happy birthday to him on the show, but I did not forget, and I did not forget your celebration, sir. We're gonna make that happen still. So anyway, happy birthday to Mike Gray, aka Mickey Grease. Hit us with those stats, baby.
Yeah, so on the screen, again, for the audio listeners, I will narrate this as best to my ability. So in the light blue there on the left, that is the opponent, Charlotte FC, and on the right is the LA Galaxy. So 66% to 34%, Robert. I mean, Greg Vanney even mentioned post-match that they controlled this game in large parts, and you see that in the possession stats and also the passing stats that you just laid out there. So this is on the bottom. 705 accurate passes versus 328. Again, showing the dominance in terms of the ball position, but unfortunately, we couldn't do anything with that position, nor the sort of passing connections and the dominance that we showed from the passing. Right, so 1.48 expected goals versus 1.18 to Charlotte. 18 total shots for the Galaxy to 12 for Charlotte. 5 of them on target for the Galaxy, 2 shots on target for Charlotte, and only 2 big chances for the Galaxy, and we missed both of them. I think we can kind of guess which ones those are. Charlotte, meanwhile, missed a huge big chance. We might talk about that later, off of a John Nelson blunder, and they missed that big chance as well. So again, this game didn't have too much in it. There was a couple of little windows and a couple opportunities either way, but it was kind of a not a sluggish game necessarily, but it was just, two teams that
Slower.
were tactically sound, especially, Charlotte. They were dropping into that mid to low block, like I was saying. And, Greg Vanney touched on it post-match that passing wise, we had the control. We kind of pushed them back a little bit. We just couldn't unlock it in the final third. And again, that Gabriel Peck big chance, that was a huge missed chance, right? And yeah, I'm going to talk about this later too, but it's just we're not finding the right formula between actually putting in good defensive performances and finishing our chances, and that's where it came out in a 0-0 stalemate in this game.
We haven't been able to put it together, like a good offensive performance and that good defensive performance. Well, this is where you got to talk about like what they did well and what they did wrong. Like what they didn't do well at. And unfortunately, I mean, Hector Ramos just said it was blah, boring, and anticlimactic. I mean, I don't know if it was boring, but it was kind of anticlimactic. I mean, they definitely should have won this game. You asked me, is this 2 points dropped? I think so. They had the chances to win this match. They weren't really threatened. It was as non-violent an away match as you can have. Like, no one really was getting up on each other. There was like really no fisticuffs. I mean, yeah, there were fouls, but I mean, sometimes these matches are heated, intense. This one wasn't like that. It was, it just wasn't intense. And the Galaxy had chances to win. A couple different opportunities in the first half. They didn't take them. Of course, the big one that Ananda talked about happened in the 63rd minute, where Ricky's driving through the center of midfield again, just like he did for Diego's goal in the last game. This one he lays off to Gabriel Peck on the right-hand side. Gabriel Peck drags it wide left. You got to be putting that one away, man. Another chance that Maya had off of a set piece in the 85th, where he kind of just toe pokes it and it goes wide right. He had a header with the last play of the game that he probably should have done better with. Gabriel Peck found it day on. Yeah, I mean, yeah, great save. I mean, Maya hits it, pretty much in his flight path. I mean, Gabby Peck hits Dayon a couple different times, and Dayon kind of fluffs his lines there. So a bunch of different chances, man, and they just have let him go begging. I mean, a couple games ago, it was Joseph Paintsill who missed a couple golden opportunities, and they dropped points in that one. Here they dropped points as well. It's kind of like they've forgotten how to score right quick, and even worse, they've forgotten how to win. But that's what I saw in the missed opportunities, man.
Yeah, it was just as clear cut as that, right? Just not finishing our chances. And Again, it goes back to this point that I've really been thinking about is, Rob, like if you think about these full 90-minute performances this year, I can only think of maybe two, right? I would say San Jose away and even Vancouver away. I know we gave up a goal sort of late, but I thought that was a pretty complete performance overall. Other than that, it's been one thing or another. It's been either the defense lets up silly goals or we miss chances, right? This last game, it was a 0-0. What was that game? The Seattle game was also 0-0 that we couldn't finish. Meanwhile, the last game before this, Minnesota, we did finish our chances. And in fact, we scored two really, really lovely goals. The problem is we gave a goal on a set piece and another silly goal, right? So it's like we can't put these performances together, or we have games like even San Jose at home. Yes, we won the game, but man, that game should have been put to bed early. So it's this other concept of
should have been like 5-0, you know?
That, well, not even that, just keep it at 3-0 or 3-1, right? If anything, just slow the game down and kill it. So it's been a combination of all those things. And I'm hoping that this team, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're still learning how to win. They're still learning the process of how to win in the confines of their system with their teammates and all that good stuff. But I'm hoping that it ramps up more quickly than later. And especially coming in this 4-game homestand now, we've got 4 out of 5 of the next games are at home. This is a huge stretch, man. It's and it's one of those things where we've got to get maximize as many points as possible, especially at home. So it's one of those things where I don't have a strong opinion on it either way, but it's clear though, there's always something going on that we're not putting in complete performances.
Yeah. Well, building off of that, I mean, you did mention that the defense got a clean sheet, but there was the Novak gaff where he just, I don't know what happened to him there. I don't think he was just
brain fart
on 100%. Yeah. And then John Nelson also had one. I mean, I believe he was getting his first start, and he almost wound up on SportsCenter for giving up a terrible goal. Luckily, Charlotte didn't take advantage of the chance and they shot wide. But yeah, I mean, even defensively, they live dangerously. Another team that punished that. I mean, we'd be sitting here talking about a 1-0 loss instead of a 0-0 draw.
That's right.
And it's all because they haven't had these complete performances. And even though they did get the shutout, I mean, we can see that even the defense didn't have like the best performance. They just kind of got let off the hook. And I mean, in these 0-0 matches, I mean, we've spoken about Greg trying to come up with a plan B. Now he doesn't have JP, who was desperately missed in this match. His speed was something that they were lacking. And now we know that he's gone for a few weeks, possibly till mid-June. Of course, he played an entire European season in Belgium with Genk. Then he did AFCON, and now he'll do the start of and then he did the start of the season with the Galaxy. So he left last week with the hamstring injury, and Greg did reveal to us that he's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks. He says it's nothing serious, but it's nothing either. So this is where somebody else in the lineup needs to step up. And we saw Diego do it last game when he got his goal after replacing JP, but now we need to see these players step up consistently, which you and I were you and I I did it.
2-1.
Hey, does it count if I get if I call it out on myself first?
I call it out too, but you know what, we're counting everything, so there you go. It's hard not to say that, right?
So you're at a +1 right now. Okay. But something that we talked about, what are first off, is there any cause for concern here, and what are the negatives and the positives of the Galaxy recently?
Yeah, well, really quick chat. We're going to leave this open-ended, actually, for what we have on the screen there. Who steps up now for JP? We can list off a bunch of players, but we're going to leave this one for you guys. So go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll sort of lay that out. But yeah, man, like one of the things I was thinking, again, back to the top of the show of this, like, I don't know how I should feel about this, right? So here it is. Let's look at the negatives. I mean, it's clear. You know, we've only have 4 points in the last 5 matches. We drew the only home match that we had versus RSL, and that was like a late sprint, right? That was we even said it after the show, that felt like more like 1 point gain than 2 points lost, given where we were and the game state of that match. And here's the other concerning part, Robert. For a team that averages 2 goals a game throughout the season, we only have 6 goals scored in the last 4 matches, right? And of course, as Damon Calhoun rightly pointed out, I think coming into this match, our last win is still April 21st against San Jose in that 4-3 home win. Again, a game that really should have been put to bed early. So again, causes for concern. But as of course, let me hit on the positives for a second, right? There are a few positives. Look, we've had 4 away games in the last 5 matches, right? And especially in this last stretch, we've had 2 away games in 4 days. And especially with the flight, sort of the distances involved in them, that's really, really tough, right? Because you figured like Wednesday you played a match and then you either have a rest and recovery day, usually the next day, and then you've got to fly out to where you're going to just play a match on Saturday. So really, I believe, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, they probably only had a light training session, if anything, on Friday or something like that, or in between these last 2 matches. So really, it's really rest and recovery, right? Especially for the older guys, it's tough. And so that's something that, sure, we can use as a crutch, but I don't think it's something that we could just simply overlook. And the other thing, too, is if you look at roster-wise, you could probably say that we've only had our full strength 11 only in that home match versus RSL due to injuries, rotation, etc. So, again, those are things that we should weigh up. But the fact still remains, Robert, 4 points out of the last 5 matches. And now it puts a lot of pressure on this next 5 matches where you have 4 home games now out of 5. So if you have 4 points out of 5 in the last one, I mean, you got to get at least 9 or 10 points out of this next 15 minimum, right? To sort of balance everything out. I don't know that. And this is why I'm kind of sitting on the fence on this, because I can see both sides of it. But the way I've kind of rationalized it in my head is it just makes or creates that much more pressure for the next 5 games. And I hope we can perform.
Well, the next 5, like you said, 4 out of the 5 are at home. They see Houston on the 25th. They see Dallas on the 29th. They travel to Chicago on the 1st. Then they're back at home 2 weeks later against Sporting Kansas City, and they'll finish off that 5-game stretch there against NYCFC at home. And then on the weekend, they have a real tough match when they travel to Real Salt Lake. So they have 5. They have 4 out of 5 at home, and like you said, because they have that cap game right there, end capped right there against RSL, they need to pick up max points in those 5. You know, especially because you're going in to potentially like one of the leaders of the Western Conference. Point. And I'm actually going to be so bold as to say they pick up 10 of 15. From this possible next 15. Ananda, you actually called out that you had some comments from Greg to bring up. Do you want to paraphrase? Do you want to run that clip?
Yeah, we'll just paraphrase it, because I just said something about it maybe a couple segments ago, right, where he was talking about this idea of control. Actually, you know what? I have it queued up, Robert. So why don't I just play it so that everyone can enjoy it? Here is head coach Gregorio Vanney.
Gregorio Vanney.
From a control standpoint, I would say yes, I agree with it. I felt like our positional awareness was really good. Even though guys were doing a little bit of place changing and there were some rotations happening, I felt like we were in good spots. I thought our general discipline in terms of our choices and being solid in possessions, even though spaces were a little bit tight when we forced them into a lower block, I thought we were pretty responsible with the ball for the night, which really limited their chances of breaking out and trying to counter against us with the size and speed they had. We really minimized those. But I thought the collective awareness and positioning was really good, and that meant that there were solutions all over the field for us in the possession phase. But now the next key is just transitioning out of possession to create the attack to get the guys to where they need to be in the final action, and that was Maybe a little bit that wasn't quite as sharp through the whole night, but it was. But again, we had a couple chances maybe there to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, so, he talks about this idea of control and sort of getting out in the transition. But again, the numbers don't lie, right? We didn't convert those chances. And I mean, it's funny too, like just hearing him about transition. I actually think we're more dangerous on the transition, Robert. Remember, I think of those goals against Vancouver, those Ricky slide through passes, slide rule passes, SKC, that second half, we blitzed him on the transition. It's interesting that we play this possession game, but
Ricky running through the midfield to lay off to Diego.
But I actually think, we're more dangerous on the transition. Funny enough. So again, for me, he's saying all the right things, and I see where he's coming from. But to me, it's a cause for concern in that we are so ball dominant, but yet we have nothing to show for it. Right? We only have a point. So I'm hoping that sort of that idea or that changes in the future. But again, it goes back to our point of putting these 90-minute performances together, both offensively and defensively.
Well, it ended up 0-0. Not really much to speak of on the goal side, obviously. But what was your moment of the match? I know the Galaxy's moment of the match was Novak Mikovic starting. My moment of the match was Gabriel Peck's miss from the Ricky pass, because now we're talking about a tie rather than a win. But what was it for you, Ananda?
Yeah, I think I'm with you on the Gabriel Peck miss. That could have really turned the tide in the game and changed the game state completely. I also thought that last save by the Charlotte keeper on Yoshida, that was a huge moment of the match as well. I thought that was, a pretty good header. It was looping. It wasn't easy. And I think to be honest, for me, the man of the match for the whole game was that Charlotte keeper. I think he kept them in the game, pulled off some really, really good stops. And yeah, I think he deserved it. Novak didn't have as much to do on the other side, but I think the Charlotte keeper definitely played his part in the 0-0.
Well, speaking of men's of the matches or defending the badges, we have your 4 candidates this week. We have Ricky Puig, Jalen Neal, Yoshida, and Mark Delgado. Ricky had a season high, an MLS season high, so he broke the MLS record for the season with 147 passes. He completed 134 of those for a 91% accuracy rating. He won 4-6 duels and was fouled. Jalen Neal won 3 or 4 duels in 2 possessions. He recorded 3 clearances, and it was his usual tidy self, passing out of the back with 86 out of 89 passes for 97% accuracy rating. Mark Delgado, 3 lungs, completed 33 passes for 92% accuracy rating. He won 5 of 6 duels. He only lost once, and he had 2 recoveries. And of course, you have your captain, Yoshida, won 3 of 4 duels. 3 of 3 aerial duels. He nearly scored the game winner there at the end, and he registered a game high 6 clearances. Guys, since we just got this out to you yesterday, we'll go ahead and announce the winner of the Defending the Badge tomorrow. So you still have time to get your vote in. When I last checked, I believe it was all tied up. Ricky and Jalen Neal. Is that correct, Ananda?
I will check it right now as you're speaking, because I was curious of that as well.
So, yeah, it was really, really close. I believe it was.
Actually, it's still tied between Ricky and Maya. So get your votes in, guys. Let's break the deadlock here.
Ooh, Ricky and Maya are at 32% right now, and you still have some time. You still have about 12 hours here, 10, 11, 12 hours here to get your vote in. And then we'll go ahead and publish that on the socials. But where does this draw leave the Galaxy through 14 matches played in the 2024 season? They have a 5-2 for 19 against. They're in 4th place in the Western Conference on 22 points. They're tied with Austin, though, on 3rd, even though Austin is ahead on goal difference. And, of course, they would hold the tiebreaker right now. The Galaxy are 9th in the Supporter Shield standings, actually 7th. They are tied with Austin and Toronto as well. That puts them 9 points back from the Supporter Shield leaders, Miami, but they do have a game in hand over the leaders. Galaxy are averaging 1.57 points per game. And since we have talked a lot about negatives today, we do want to call out that last year it took them 21 games to get to 22 points, whereas this year it's only taken them 14. You got to call out the good with the bad. This is progress, y'all. So well, what do the Galaxy have coming up? The Galaxy is back at home. They face Houston Dynamo on Saturday, May 25th at 7:30 p.m. We'll bring you a game preview on Thursday, May 23rd at 9 p.m. Ananda, anything else to add before we get on out of here?
Well, I was just going to ask, just out of curiosity, who is your defending the badge out of those four before we find out who the winner is tomorrow?
Oh, we got a call. We got callers right now.
What's that?
I said we have to call ours right now.
I mean, might as well throw it out there. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're both wrong, right? We always know this. We're both wrong at the end of the day, so it doesn't really matter. But just curious.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna pick Edwin Cerrillo.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wasn't
even on the list. Yeah.
He wasn't on the list. But I tried to make him part of the list, and we actually had that debate on and I back and forth. Whether we would include Mark or Edwin, but there was a lot of encouraging signs from Edwin. Maybe he doesn't pass like the stats test on this one, but just for the way that he was playing with Ricky, leads me to have a lot of hope for the future.
By the way, Gary Cameron said, I thought he said we have callers, LOL. And Gary, I swear to you, I thought Robert said the same thing. That's why I was like a little confused. I was like, huh? We have callers now? Wait, why is this is new to me? I'm like the host of this stream. I'm like, that's new to me. Anyways, when we do get callers or a call-in feature, we will let you guys know. But yeah,
when did you think we had callers?
No. We thought you said, "Oh, we have callers?" That's what Gary's saying, because I thought you said the same thing. So
no, that'd be fun though. A La Cunita hotline. I would love it. And
exactly,
man, dream come true. Hopefully one of these days we'll be able to pull that off for you guys. But yeah, I mean that pretty much brings us to the end of our show, Ananda. Again, guys, we have that Thursday preview for this match at home against Houston. Chill with us for that one Thursday at 9 p.m. Ananda, wanna say anything else before we get on out of here?
I was trying to see, because I like to always leave last word to chat. I wanted to see if there was any questions that we couldn't get to. Well, here's one from Gary. So, do you guys think Garces will not solve but lessen all these set piece aberrations that we suffer from? It's like a curse. I have to look away when there's a corner or free kick against us. Yeah, totally, Gary. I think Garces, I don't know about the set piece woes. I think he'll help us a lot, though, on transition defense with his speed. So that's all I'll say to that. But again, I can't really say anything and none of us can really, because we haven't seen him. So hopefully he made the bench last time, and hopefully we will see him soon.
Yeah. I'm going to leave it like that too. I mean, I haven't seen him with this Galaxy team. I did see him in the elevator. He's not that much taller than I am, so I don't think he's, going to mitigate all those problems on set pieces unless his vertical is crazy, which it very well could be, because mine is not, but his most likely is. So yeah, I think we just got to be patient and see what he brings to the side. I mean, there's good honestly, like I've tried to ask Greg a couple different times, what's going on with him, and we just never have time to get to that question. So I don't know if it's an issue of like fitness or like visa stuff that he hasn't played yet, but he was on the bench. So now we know that at least he's available. So looking forward to seeing him, and looking forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. Yeah, Don Raul 96 indeed. Go ahead and get those comments in for the stream after we're done here, and you will be automatically entered. Do that, add Don Raul 96 in the chat earlier. So without further ado, Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you guys on the next pod, which is Thursday. And we can't do it without you. We appreciate you guys so much. It's nothing but love. Blue, white, and gold all day. And we'll catch you next time. One thing left to say. Jesus.